I did my best to get into the Christmas spirit this year. Classic carols, the tree and fireplace, made for cozy breakfast with the family, rewatching Home Alone with my kids, who are around the same age as when I first saw it, letters to Santa, Christmas books, gingerbread houses, Christmas shopping, gift wrapping. I did it all. It still wasn't clicking. The holiday spirit was eluding me. That was until I sat down with Jeffy and Nate before this podcast. Their school semesters had just come to a close, and we shared a humble, home-cooked meal while engaging in a satisfying conversation that can only occur between longtime friends. We were unbound by the constraints of tight work schedules. That shared feeling of freedom from the regular routine sat with us. We were untethered from it all, caught in a moment. And although we had planned to meet, an unintentional side effect of it was that feeling I had been looking for earlier in the season. Everything was suddenly in focus, and I personally took one step closer towards understanding and appreciation, and one step away from the bells and whistles of it all. Here I was, just having a meal with two old buddies, shooting the breeze, with not 1 ounce of desire for anything more. In fact, a slight guilt for feeling that I have too much already.
You are now tuned into This Korean Life with your hosts, Brian and Nate.
Give us a little tune, Jeff.
Let's see. Sin sin mobile. I have no idea what that means, but it sounds like opera, so hell. Not a rock opera, not Tommy.
Nate,
Tommy, can you hear me?
Nate, we're close to the same generation. When you hear dun, 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 or I don't know if that's Symphony Number 5. Dun, 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 dun. Yes?
No idea.
You've never heard that song in your life?
I have.
In your head, is it drink milk, love life, taste that freshness?
No, well, it depends what
milk
commercial you're
the milk lobby was strong for.
Well, I just laughed my ass off watching a football game when the is it Folgers? That commercial's been on for that. Fresh tastes better, fresh tastes better, something like that. And drink Folgers. I'm like, you haven't changed your jingle in 25 years, but the best one ever.
Well, lots of them haven't.
The best one ever, my favorite commercial by far. I actually sang it as
Hometown
a song
Honda?
to my, no, they two ranchers. They drive away and there's a paddock there, and they got beef in there. Okay, and then the camera goes over to the cow, and the cow says, "Can you imagine how much I love you? Moo 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 moo. You know you're the only one for me. Could ever be you. You know my heart won't free you, and my hands won't try. Thank you very much. You're beautiful." At the end comes HP sauce makes beef sing.
Yeah,
I thought it was just brilliant. It was brilliant because the cow looked like it, back in the day.
And they called it Mellow Yellow.
Oh,
that's always just butter. Is that the same one? Yeah.
It was. I think it was for.
Well, you think about the iconic
margarine
nature of all of those jingles. Like I was doing one for McDonald's.
Welcome back to another episode of The Screen Life. Today we got Jeff again.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I thought we were just rambling, just shooting the shit. No, I just thinking of, McDonald's, how many they put a Coca-Cola. Can you teach the world to sing? All of those great ones. Mean Joe Green and the giving the jersey for him. Pittsburgh sucks, by the way. It's just.
Were they not 11-0 and they just dropped
They were
one?
11-0 and then they just dropped. They were, and they dropped their last two. So.
And one was to the Bills, was it?
And one was to the Bills. Bills look good.
10-3.
Yeah, they're 10-3, and
first time since 1990.
But it's an amazing thing. Their quarterback, Josh Allen, man, he has improved his accuracy.
What is he on? Is he on the Wheaties box?
Well, I don't know.
Does he have a cereal named after?
It's the question of what's that ranking. Only 5 or 6 guys have a 99 Madden rating. All right, and when they join that, they're given a chain and they get all this thing, and so somebody joined one. I think it's Mahomes, Hopkins. There's what's his name? The other guy in the, speaking of commercials.
Only active guys?
Only active guys that are put on there. To achieve a 99 rating means you're the top of the top, right? And they get their deal on a Madden rating. So it's very, very interesting. The COVID plague. Then the boys were all saying, hey, man, think football's going to be canceled this year? And I said, too much money, honey, man. They won't cancel it for anything. Every other sport goes into a bubble. Football. Baltimore had 22 players on COVID, but they still played a game. And this year is the only year in the history of the NFFL. That's a new league. That's for fluffing. All right. But the NFL, the NFL
Niagara
is
Falls Fluffer League.
Niagara Falls Fluffers League. That'll be great. Yeah, I'd be starting captain on that one. Anyway, the NFL has actually only played every day of the week this year. They played on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday game. They always had a Thursday game, but they played Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now they've had a game on every day of the week.
Do you think that'll impact the future of the league?
I can't see it impacting the future of the league for the simple fact is the league itself is so money driven, and there's
But it used
so
to be
much
only
money.
Sunday and Monday.
Again,
And then
it's
what-
all
Thursday-
about now. There's a Thursday night
Thursday
football.
wasn't regular before.
Now they're doing doubling ups on Monday. Basically, it's getting more viewers. It get as many games.
But
as
that's what I
you
mean. Do you think this new schedule, and they've never played games on these days, now
No.
that they are, do you think
Are you
that'll...
saying after everyone's vaccinated, will they go back to the traditional 3-day-a-week?
Right. Or do you think, they'll throw the odd Tuesday game in or...
Well, again, I think it all depends on what the owners agree because the owners run the show, right? So if the owners say I can get more butts in the seat, more advertising revenue, they'll push it to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday game. Like, Again, the reason they're doing it now, Sunday, they've got a 1 o'clock game, 4 o'clock game, and then they have a late game. So they get the people, after church, before church, during church.
I always wonder when you buy season tickets.
That's how I schedule
for
my
me
seasons.
for the NHL. I mean, you buy season tickets. That's 41 games. Most of them aren't on the weekend. I mean, you got to go on a Wednesday night. You got to go on a Monday night. Next Thursday. If you're not going, and even if you split a package with a buddy. Okay, what do you want?
Saturday.
I want Fridays and Saturdays.
There you go.
Nobody wants Monday and Tuesdays.
100%.
So,
But
yeah, I always wondered, man.
But you bring up a great point. Think about it now, though. If what COVID has done to the world has driven people to their offices. I just read Google's not opening up again until September. Next September. Yeah, they're keeping their offices closed. So wouldn't you now, for more revenue, spread your games out because people are working from home, giving them a distraction on those things? COVID, I have no idea what's going to happen.
I love the shift towards that. Just being able to stay at home, work at your own pace.
100%. It's fantastic. Not good on the waistline if you like to cook, I'll tell you that much, you know what I mean? But, as we become more distanced in a globally distant society, right? Hey, how do you get more revenue out of people? Like you said, if you're going to go see the games, but nobody's seeing the damn games. So...
There's definitely some jobs that you need to be in person for, but like I said before, these guys flying across the country for a business meeting is ridiculous.
Yeah,
and it was not possible before, but all of a sudden it is possible. We just didn't want to make it possible, and now you're saving expense accounts and this and that, whatever. So I think it'd be a good shift. I'm curious what's going to happen to these leagues once they come out of these and see what the differences are. I don't know. I haven't even looked in probably weird. 2 months.
Well, basketball's starting already.
It's supposed to start January 1st.
I was telling him the other day there's a Korean kid playing college ball, and he was draining threes for the first quarter. I saw.
Nice.
The NBA started their exhibition games, didn't they?
They already started. I think they're only doing two
isn't the league supposed to
games?
start January 1st?
As far as I know. There you go.
But the NHL hasn't even started skating yet, have they?
Well, again, what are they going to do on their schedule? Like nowadays, I think it's going to be...
finished in September.
Yeah, they already finished in there, and how much downtime are you going to give them? And what?
Hold on, the Devils have been off for 8 months.
There you go. Well, look at some of the basketball teams. It didn't make that cut.
They're
off
this
for
was the
9,
Leafs
10
year. This
months.
was the Leafs year. Guys.
This was the Leafs year, but the Leafs just can't put it together. Poor Brian, a long-time fan of the Maple Leafs. Jesus.
I had the choice when I was younger to be a Habs fan, but I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. Even at 5 years old, I had my wits about me not to jump to the.
When I was 3 years old, my dad took us and my brother, God love him, took a Blackhawks jersey and I took a Habs jersey. And he's like, my dad saying, "What about the Toronto jersey?" And we kept saying,
"We're on a toilet paper."
I said, "No, it wasn't that bad." I just looked at it and said, "Perennial losers." It just came up right there. And my father said, "You know what perennial means?" And I said, "Yeah, no idea, but I believe it's going to happen for the Leafs." What about, speaking of logos, Blackhawks? Blackhawks are a tribe. The Cleveland Indians finally have given up the ghost.
Really?
They will no longer be called the Indians.
Washington
Redskins are no longer. Now they're the Washington football team.
Did the
Just
Blackhawks
called the
change?
Football team. Blackhawks, I have not heard anything. But
they should do Washington.
The Blackhawks are a tribe as opposed to a generalization. Right? The Indians. It's when it's not, a term used by anyone, right? So, the Redskins, again.
The Cleveland Caucasians.
Yeah, well, that wouldn't be bad, the Cleveland Caucasians. Well, would you pick Cleveland, though? You're going to put the Nebraska Caucasians. I get it. I'm just saying, Cleveland's a lot more diverse than other ones. Would you put the Trump White House Caucasians? That would be a good one. Because, speaking of losers, I think the Leafs are akin to Donald Trump, The Leafs don't know they haven't lost. They still think they're winning. Their fans are like Trumpians.
That is
or as I heard Chris Como say, all props to him, a re-Trumplican. The re-Trumplican party. I think it's awesome.
Okay, here. There's nothing on the NHL site, but I found this. NHL's aiming for a 56-game schedule, would begin January 13th. But that's less than a month away. As recently as Thursday, Drager reported the league was aiming to begin training camps in a few weeks.
But you
a
guys
one-week training camp?
You guys have the inside scoop. Have they started skating? Have they started getting?
That's what I'm talking about, though. Like a 1-week training camp?
Well, NBA's doing 2 preseason games.
This is from yesterday. Oh, really?
That's it. 2 preseason games.
That sounds like what this is going to be.
Yeah, well, again, they want to put dollars in. And the other thing is, you got to remember, it's a lot about the distraction factor. Right? People are stuck at home. That's
the thing. You want these on TV because you're going to get the TV ratings.
There you go. The TV's what's driving
you want
all
the guys.
This thing.
You want the guys playing, staying in shape, going through their routine,
100%.
As much as normal as you can have it during. Listen, this is going to be here next summer.
Yeah.
There's no way that the vaccine's out. Fine. How many can you produce? How fast can you get it out?
They're starting to vaccinate people today in Ottawa.
I heard.
Interesting.
But I also heard that in Korea they haven't purchased the vaccine.
They have them now.
I've heard they've got
made verbal agreements or something.
I've heard they've got 60 million doses of the vaccine in verbal agreements. But have you heard about Canada?
No.
Canada has 6 times the population of vaccine doses. They're talking about the haves and have-nots, like the African continent. We've got 6 times our population in Canada.
Yeah, but you need double shots.
Again, one vaccine is a double shot. They're not talking about that.
Right.
They're talking that the efficacy of the vaccine, they're waiting to see how many people maybe it doesn't work, how many doesn't get. But they're saying that Canada has made agreements and purchased enough for, and it was quoted 3 times. Canada, 5 to 6 times as many as their population.
Isn't it a problem too that even if Canada vaccinates itself,
right,
that vaccination only lasts for a year and a half, and if the rest of the world,
a year and a half, they're talking about 2 and 3 months, man. 2 and 3 months, not a year and a half.
Oh, it's only good for 2 or 3 months. So you got to vaccinate the whole world within that.
Yeah, well, exactly.
So everyone's got to get on board, get vaccinated.
Well, I just heard that one of the second vaccines, I don't know if it's AstraZeneca or whoever's putting it out.
Yeah.
Who is that?
AstraZeneca. Not Astra Boy.
Moderna's the newest one out saying that they have
the defensive pair for the Dallas.
There you go. AstraZeneca. Sounds like a god for the Incas. Moderna. He sounds like a Marvel. Mike Moderno played for the Dallas Stars. Good player. But I heard that they're saying this next vaccine will actually is preventative. Yeah. Not just treating it, but that You get it, and 100% it's going to prevent the virus from coming into your bloodstream to passing it along and doing what have you. So who knows what's going on with that? What's that? I did that years ago. Yeah, man.
I'm curious to see how. I mean, this is something that should be bringing everyone together, right? And like you say, if you can't have the businessmen from Asia flying into America, where they haven't. So it's going to create another huge divide between the haves and have-nots.
Very much so.
And if it's not good for more than X amount of time, the haves and the have-nots are going to meet at some point,
right?
And you're going to be exposed to it again. So it'll be really interesting. It's like, okay, the businessmen got it, so they can be in the business hub, travel, whatever. But how long is it good for?
Right.
Then you gotta up your.
And are you going to have what you're just mentioning? And I thought of this. I'm sure they've thought of it. Dead zones, right? Think about like travel zones where you can't go, right? Like, I mean, you want to do business there, but hold on, 90% of that population isn't getting, emerging markets. You got to go check it on site. You're not sending a guy in there to do that because the risk of exposure in certain areas is going to be, because they can't get their hands on the vaccine.
I also wonder about the private procurement of them. If the NFL says we're buying, 500,000 vaccines and we got our own doctors who are going to put them in,
excellent point.
Who can stop them? Hey, Moderna, we want 500,000. We're going to vaccinate the whole league.
Roger Goodell commissioner of the NFL, said that we will not jump the line for vaccines, even though the NFL has been so effective. But, Nate, you're right. Money talks. They won't jump the line. But if one of the owners says, hey, I'm controlling this. But I thought the best line was Trevor Noah. I heard him the other day. He says, so you're the guy delivering this vaccine, all right? But you're not in line to get the damn vaccine months out. So of 1,000 vaccines, 998 made it to the warehouse. Just pull over on the thing. They're actually reporting the vaccine. I read this yesterday and heard it from Trevor Noah. Every 2 seconds.
They're what?
Every 2 seconds, they're updating their their geo trackers.
Oh, so they don't.
So nobody can. So he can't get another guy pick Brian up by the side of the road, put him in the van, and say, "Hey, just grab a couple out of that box there."
But I mean, someone was on yesterday and
saying,
"That'd
be awesome."
It's not. This is not just the military can get this done.
No.
There's way too many moving parts. There's 100%. Way too many things involved, and. Gates was on somewhere and someone had asked him, when will you get it? Or will you get it in public like the presidents have said that they will? And he's like, I will. When it's my turn, I will get it. But I'm not going to the front of the line just because I can.
Right.
He said, when it's my turn, I'll get it. And then people say, well, that looks like you want to see if it works or not. And you lose the trust. It seems like a no-win situation.
Yeah, 100%.
Hey, listen, anything he says, someone's going to screw it and make it sound like he's...
Even though I believe him more than I believe anybody, because this boy has been spot on every prediction.
Well, he did a TED Talk 5 years ago.
We should 2015, bro. I saw that same talk,
We should be ready
He said this is the next wave. Like, it's coming.
So he invented it, no?
That's it. Did he invent it? So, he's
pumping that up to the 5G.
Yeah. I got to stop believing in that.
We were hiking yesterday and we got... We walked through the Corona transmission area there and might have picked it up on our hike yesterday.
There was a squeaky
hydro tower.
Yeah, no, what was the little weather vane or something squeaking around?
Zipping around.
And now we know where he's
transmitting it from. 5G cancer exposure and...
we found it out.
Oh my God, there's so many things you're going to get here first. All I say is just stick to a good, healthy diet of knock everything out with 10 bottles of soju a week. Yeah. Listen, when you get enough soju in you, it'll kill the hell out of everything, right? Mark Brown and we're going to live for a long time. I think we're desiccated by now.
I just posted...
Just pickled yourself.
You pickled.
One of the guys on my team works at City Hall, and he had sent out this official from the government meeting yesterday or whatever, and he sends it to us right away. So I sent it out, and one of the women's groups says... Oh, that's a brilliant tip. Just drink lots of water. Every 15 minutes, drink water. And I don't know how much it helps prevent or not or whatever, but the next lady in the chat said, what about alcohol? And it was the same thing. I said, I think that's why Korea's rate is so low, because half of them are pickled on soju. I mean, it just can't penetrate their system. They're just They got enough soju in the system to deflect all that stuff.
Between it, the Coke, and the darts, I swear to God, I'm
and the
good to
kimchi.
go.
It's a trifecta.
The kimchi, I don't go near the kimchi. That's why.
The golden triangle.
It won't get past the other things, so it's all good, you know?
You don't eat kimchi?
No. Except
Really?
I don't eat kimchi in its raw, pure, disgusting
Even at the restaurant?
Ah, meh, meh.
On the
You know how many
barbecue?
people done that? No.
God, it's
in
good.
the damn that reminds me from that movie. In the damn barbecue? Yeah. No, but I absolutely love kimchi pancakes, kimchi jjigae. I like kimchi mandu, I like kimchi bokkeumbap, and anything else. Just kimchi. But it's the same thing for tomatoes.
Yeah.
Like I said, in that salad we just had, brilliant salad, by the way, Brian. Brian makes a mean lunch, gentlemen, ladies, who's ever listening to this, come on over. You guys come on over. But pickles, same thing. But I love relish to death.
Oh,
Tomatoes, relish.
Oh,
come on, I
God.
relish to you.
Oh, good
Like,
Lord.
come on, it's wonderful.
I
But
was-
I'm
I
just
like
saying,
the hamburger
just-
relish and the other
yeah,
kind.
I like the
Oh.
multiple different relishes.
It's a
But
slimy chopped up.
What's that
cucumber.
market in Kitchener? What's it called? Saint
Saint
that
Pickles?
Saint something.
I
The
have
big
no
the
idea.
big
I know what
Hunterite
you
market
mean,
or
yeah.
Mennonite market in
Yeah.
St. Catharines there. You go there and see
St.
the
Catharines or
homemade
Kitchener? What are you talking
Kitchener. And
The
see
market is
the
St. Catherine or St. Catherine of Kitchener or Kitchener.
and you
St.
see all the
Catherine of
homemade
Market. Oh,
different
yeah.
relishes
Okay,
they got.
oh, big
Oh
time.
man, they're
Hamburger
deadly.
relish is
Sure.
the gods.
What?
Some
gift.
kind of
Oh,
spicy
I
Oh,
gotta
they-
try it again.
pumpkin
Oh.
jalapeno or something. Oh, they got
right,
amazing
they-
stuff.
100 different types of now.
So many kinds.
It's yeah. Well, that market Nate is fantastic, Brian. It's just like you're the amount
Wait,
of
you must
have been there, no?
home-cured
It's all the-
sausages
I've never left
and
Niagara
that.
Falls, dude.
He moved to Korea directly from Niagara
Guys-
Falls.
guys
Listen,
don't
we
suck.
understand. Niagara Falls is a lot like New York City. Everything you want is there. Hookers and blow, everything else is all that. You know, you got the big falls, you got idiots going over it. What are you
By-
gonna do?
By hookers and blow, Jeff is absolutely referring to the children's book.
Well, of
Hookers and Blow
course,
Save Christmas.
yes. Hookers and blows save Christmas. We're putting that in for. Just looking across there. Jeez, Brian, that's gentlemen, ladies, and whoever's out there.
The Britannic Almanac.
No,
in 2005?
John Le Carre. He just died yesterday. Shout out to him.
Huh.
Brilliant writer.
The Constant Gardener.
Yeah, he was a brilliant writer. Anyway, just passed away from
Since you mentioned,
what?
I was looking St. Jacobs.
Oh, St. Jacobs.
St.
that's
Jacobs.
it, St.
You've never been there, dude? You live
Oh,
down
it's
the road.
amazing.
From Kitchener?
Yeah,
Holy
but
man.
think about
Sure.
it. Niagara Falls to Kitchener, that's a far drive for him.
Oh man,
you
that's
know?
worth it. That thing's awesome.
Listen,
Yeah, we used to
What
go
a
there.
wicked
We used to go
place.
there on weekends from McMaster.
Lundy's Lane and McLeod Road's a hike, dude.
That's if he gets up past. If you go past the Sundowner Hotel, man, you know.
Listen to this crazy one.
You can't get past the sun.
Oh,
You-
well,
you meant-
not without going in for a beer.
You just mentioned death. 2 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
another guy from my high school passed away in Korea. 2 guys in like 4 months. Up in Seoul. Andrew Langendorfer needed a kidney.
How old?
My age. Same age as me.
Jesus.
Needed a kidney transplant,
Mm.
but he was, I want to say, RH negative. I don't know if that's the rarest one or not.
I saw that.
And there was a big plea out online searching for blood donors.
Right.
There's got to be something people can do or we can do. This comes up like 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
We need this blood. We need this blood. How come they're not paying those people to donate their blood every week? I mean, anyways,
There's that one dude.
he couldn't. He's married to a Korean. Couldn't get enough blood in time to start the surgery. Passed away 2 days ago. Oakbank, Manitoba. Second guy in 4 months in Korea.
How big is that?
5,000 people.
Jesus, that's weird.
2 guys in Korea. Crazy, man.
I'm sorry, you know, like I mean, it's weird, but I always Irish grandmother, power of threes, man. Bad things come in threes.
Am I
Might be
next?
Another one coming. Everyone, let's keep an eye on Nate.
I said to my wife,
One second. I got a geo tracker
thinking
here.
of
I'm
three
putting it
ways
on
to-
him, man. We're putting a
I said,
Fitbit
like,
on him.
what's the chances?
Yeah,
man?
that's weird.
They were both from Busan?
5,000,
No, one Busan, one up by not far from Seoul.
and both of them living in Korea. How many people live in your hometown now? About 3. They're all moved over to Korea. Like
Yeah.
I mean, Niagara Falls. Brian and I cleared it out. Now we're here. Like I mean, can't be that many people left over there. All good.
So speaking of those, and I told you guys about the hockey
Right.
hockey colleague who passed away in Jeju there last
Right.
month. What I put smoking on the list here of potential topics. You mentioned at lunch you might be quitting.
Yes, I'm thinking about it, considering it hard. Really, not joking.
What do you think now? Getting up there. How old are you now?
I am 57 years young, and I'm Jeff Young, and only the good die young. All right, but you know,
do you really want to live forever?
I swear to God. But okay, we're talking about that on the negative aspect of the death.
Yeah.
But I swear to God, 5 different songs I heard were Forever Young.
Yeah.
And then I heard another one, Only the Good Die Young, Billy Joel in Passing. It just hit me. And then at 57 years old, so when we last talked.
I can just picture you driving in your car like Rocky.
Yeah.
All these songs are coming on. And the only epiphany you have is like, fuck, I need more darts.
There you go. All I think is, God, I got to smoke now. Damn, I got to smoke now.
Where's my lighter?
But in this past year, like I said, I was up to my pre-COVID weight just when it came on. I was up to 100 pre-COVID weight.
Is that an official thing?
Pre-COVID weight. Well, it's an official thing. I marked it now, but well, I don't know the official word when it came out, but anyway.
His hands were on the towel.
There you go. I was up to 123 kilos. I'm down to 97. And as I get older, as you said, you know, we've got a good friend, Mr. Alan McKayley, and his dad's a surgeon, and Al's always, you know, worried about me and saying, hey, Jeffy, you know, control your weight, do your thing. But guys, especially with COVID coming in, like that kind of pressing issue, you hear about young guys passing away before you. You know, like how many funerals am I attending, right? Do I want people? My wife is 11 and a half years younger. Yeah, you heard it right. I got in there quick. She didn't speak English, so I just pretended like I was better than I am. All right? I'm still pretending. She knows a lot better now, but she figures maybe the fringe benefits are good. I don't know. I get knocked off. She gets a big house and a lot of money, so she's okay. All right, but in all seriousness, seriously, in all seriousness, thinking about quitting the darts, you know, getting the weight down, cutting down on God's drink, Allah's drink, Buddha's drink, Coca-Cola, you know, cutting back on that, trying to not snack and do those things, but it all comes down to the fact, 57 years old, how long do I want to live? I want to live for freaking ever. Right? Like, I mean, I don't want to die. I got, well, not forever. All right? That's a good one. But I want to live to 100. I want to see what the world's going to bring. Because I think, guys, every year, like this year.
You're looking at that book. I'm looking up here at Keith Richards. Nothing's killing this guy.
There you go. He's pickled himself all the way through. Him and Mick Jagger keep going on.
Is there certain times when people say, holy shit, I do want to live 30 more years. I better get my shit together.
And that was
or it's
the
not even going to be
this
close
year.
To possible.
And when COVID, like I said, pre-COVID, COVID came in, and then you look at people with the underlying conditions getting to, and, you know, they could have had 8, 10, 15, 20 great years. Medical advances. Look at how that Operation Warp Speed sped that vaccine through. Like, I mean, what can they do when the world gets together and thinks about this shit? The advances that are going to happen, all right, with 3D printing of various replacement parts, so to speak.
They've been 3D printing organs
for
like 25 years.
I know. And now they're saying, for example, your buddy with the blood deal. When are they going to be able to synthesize blood? Because I'll tell you, these vampires need it. Right?
Just a little Mott's Clamato.
Little Mott's Clamato, mix it in good, get it going in. But I'm just saying, you know, like you said, that epiphany came to me this year when I felt like, holy Christ, I ain't going to make it to, 60. All right? But I've never felt unhealthy. All right? But
and it's hard to make a change if you don't have that...
You need something to smack you between the eyes.
100%. And for me, it was a double whammy when the COVID came around, and I looked in the mirror and I went, "Hey, John, I'm so sorry. You know, you got this fat tub of goo that, you know, you're a beautiful young lady. Well, you know, and my wife
just do the truffle shuffle.
Oh, there you go. But like, I mean, killing me that, you know. And here's the worst thing is that my wife can eat a whole goddamn Costco pizza and she stays 51 kilos, like no matter what she does. And me, I walk by a Coca-Cola and I gain 2 kilos, right? But at the same time, like, I mean, I want to be a better man for her, look better for that. And one of the worst things is I'm such a positive preacher, like to the students, like you can be all you want to be. Look at the internet, look at YouTube. There's so many possibilities coming up. As I've learned in the past year, and Brian and I, we talk about it all the time. You and I, how many times a week do we talk about what we can do? And I look at like a presentation that I did, all right? And I'm like, wow. And then I look at his and I'm like, that's an upgrade. That's amazing. Look at what he's done. I'm like, I want to learn how to do that. I want to make things. I want to contribute. I want to show the students, hey, man, you aren't done till you're done. And if you're not healthy, the old, like, you know, your health, it's never been more apparent than in this time.
Absolutely.
Like,
But
I mean,
like for me, seeing these young guys die that
it's
are
got
in
to
high
be
school, it's
you're
like,
kicking the balls.
holy shit, man.
Yeah. Like
Not just like, I didn't even know actually that Andrew was in the country. But
Right.
apparently he's been here since 2004. I can't believe we haven't crossed paths before that.
Mm-hmm.
But to see something come up so suddenly like that,
Yeah.
and again, like, I don't know, some people defy the odds. Big G is one of them. I know.
Yeah.
His friends are dropping right, left, and center, and he's just passing every test with flying colors, and Mom thinks he's paying off the doctors, but
Just when you're saying that, you want to work with the odds, right? You know,
100%.
over time,
100%.
you wanna
play with house
Absolutely.
money.
Yeah,
You want to play with house money.
Absolutely.
You don't want to be the, you know, like my mom's guy, Brian. He's already had 2 open heart surgeries. 2.
But those
Gino
things.
Like,
had a
he's
five
these
by-
guys-
I remember
yeah.
when my uncle had one 25 years ago, a triple
Yeah.
bypass, and it was kind of new and
Yeah,
scary. And
life altering.
now it's like
Yeah.
another one. Ah, okay.
It's like an oil
Gino
It's
went.
like an oil
Oil
change now.
change.
There you go. Get the filters done too.
It's funny you said that. I don't want to take this to a too dark of a place, but we had a buddy who attempted suicide in high school, and I don't know. Me and my wife were talking about it the other day. Maybe this guy attempted suicide by drinking antifreeze, and his parents found him and found him, and he came back and he was fine. But dude, it wasn't. It was less than. It was like a month or so after we were at a park. We're all smoking. And he was there, and he had like tubes coming out of his neck, and everyone's like, "Dude, you okay? We didn't know you had a problem and whatnot." And he's like, "I'm good, I'm good." Then we're smoking. It's the middle of winter. It's like, "Oh, it's so cold, boys. Don't worry, I'm good to -40." We're like, "Oh."
As long as he made the joke.
Oh, dude, he was making like, what are you doing tomorrow, man? Let's go for lunch. Let's catch up. Oh, I gotta go get my rad flushed. Like,
Well, again, you know, you talk about things, and this just made me think of that. I read there that the suicide rate in Japan last month, the month of October, not
I saw
November.
something on this too.
Yeah, that they have a higher suicide rate than they had COVID death rate.
And it's
All
getting
right.
extremely high
Yes.
amongst women, isn't it?
Yes, very much so, because they aren't being picked up by the companies,
Right.
all right, the glass ceiling, so to speak, the Japanese work culture. But again, like, I mean,
when's the tipping point? Well,
Yeah,
when does it become where like so many people don't have jobs and they realize like maybe I don't need that? Well, when does that occur? When the epiphany or whatever, when the bubble pops and they're like, oh, I don't need to sacrifice my whole life to go to this company. I can just kind of
get by.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's the status quo. Keeping up with the Joneses is look at Korea.
So,
Korea is all about competing with other people, not choosing your path,
Oh, dude, I give up on that.
right?
I give up on that.
What's that?
There's no. You have to be satisfied with yourself, man. There is absolutely no way you can compete with everyone. You can't. It goes up. It's to Bill Gates. It's to Mark Zuckerberg.
But society
that's the
doesn't.
final thing.
Society doesn't push us in that direction, right?
100%.
Everything,
Everything's
everywhere
competition.
that we live in these, capitalist developed nations is pushing you towards the competition, the haves and the
100%.
have-nots, and keeping up with the
The
Joneses.
accumulation
Well,
of wealth.
I think you should. At some point, you got to reflect on yourself and what's important to you, and it. I think about this shit deeply.
All right, taking that
I've given
on,
up.
the
I've given up.
self-reflection
I think
idea.
a problem with that is there's not enough role models of those people
There you are.
who make it, step back, and say, "Who's the guy in the NFL who quit?
Oh,
he played 5 years or whatever." And
Laurent Duvernay.
The guy from
Canadian
Canada,
guy.
the doctor.
Yeah, he
said he wasn't playing this year because
he just got I think won 2 major awards because he opted out. He played for the Kansas City Chiefs, Pro Bowl lineman. I think his name's
Duvernay.
It's a double name, French name. All right. Anyway, he got his medical doctor from McGill, like one of the hardest schools in the world, not just in Canada. Anyway, so he wanted to make a difference. All right, and he stepped back, and he is on the front lines of COVID workers.
But who do you see in the news? Bezos and Musk, or that guy?
Well, you see him a lot more. People are looking at him.
Well,
but I'm saying in general, like on
in general,
depends what you're clicking on.
Well, again, very much so.
What's
like, are you looking for good news or bad news?
How many stories are out there of that guy compared to Musk and Bezos are in the news?
Yeah,
nonstop, all day on every channel.
Negatively, a lot of times though.
No, but I think
he's always positive.
I think you're referring probably to your Google newsfeed, which is a function of what you're clicking on. So it's feeding you more every time.
That using your Android smartphone is attached to all these guys. I mean, everything you do now is
because it's getting your preferences. So when I check what's Tesla stock, how much have I not made so far? That links or that shows I'm interested in Tesla, and I get plugged with Elon Musk. I'll turn it on right now.
Sure, but if you're studying in school about space and the future, it's probably going to come up SpaceX.
That's what I'm saying. So how would I've never seen a story about this NFL guy. So
this is what I'm saying. So I think there's not enough publicity and role models of these guys who make it and step back.
Okay.
But Brian, you're also saying a good aspect of it, though. What he's saying, I get what you're saying, but it's where we're looking in the news. And I just reading about and hearing about, for example, breaking up these monopolies of the tech companies where they're not, basically all funneling everybody into the same one. And then you've got the alt-right sites, but they're getting a lot of their stuff from the same place. So we're all, like you say,
so that's what I'm saying.
We got to promote.
If they could push these other guys who are doing it right and saying, hey, I got enough. Yeah. I'm going to go live off the grid now. But that guy comes up like once a month on a random feed saying, look at this wild guy living off the grid.
Absolutely.
If he was the standard and Bezos and those guys were the minority, which they are, the super rich are the minority, and we could model ourselves after the guys who've...
But we don't. We love looking up at the big guys
100%, who've attained.
And commiserating.
So until we stop doing that, then this society will continue.
But again, that's an impossibility. I'm sorry. Like I said, we all want more. You want to be better. You want to do that. But how do we balance, Nate, those great guys like him, okay, the people that are giving back? And look at Bill Gates, all right? You can pillory him left and right. You can take him down. You can say whatever. Guy's giving so much back to society. All right. He's pledging every year. He's probably given more in his life than major companies have given and done that. But again, what do you want to look at him for? He started the coronavirus. Come on, get off your head, But you're right, Nate. It's the news sources. So is a possibility of developing a news source. Like I said, what's his name? That John Krasinski did Good News. And every week in my email, I get good news from CNN, reading those stories. But they're never the headline, right? Like Lauren the Tardif.
That's my thing was you said, what's the tipping point? If we don't adjust our views and perspective, it's never going to change. So until you start getting these Duvernay guys or whatever on the news regularly, as long as it stays with the big moguls, that's all it's going to be.
I listened to our previous podcast that we did. I said something about I find good pleasure in creating and making stuff, and I still hold true. You see the stupid game I'm making out there, man. Just sitting down and making something. It's so it's beautiful.
Along what he said, you can't preface it with a stupid game. That's an awesome game that you're creating because I know, but this is what our society does, and Nate just saying that. If we continue to put down I'm doing this stupid thing, I'm doing this dumb thing, instead of promoting, I'm doing a great thing here. I don't know if the game will be great, but I'm really enjoying what I do.
And I don't know if other people will appreciate it or respect it as a great thing. But I think
that shouldn't matter.
100%. It should matter.
That's what influences a lot of people is what
other people.
Hey, what do you think of this game? Oh, it's shit. I can do it. I thought it was a shitty game.
But I read that not too long ago where it is. We've all got these ideas in our head. Me more so than others. Too many ideas on too many things. You both have talked to me. The worst thing is I may be the most tangential speaker in the freaking world. I go left and I go right because my brain is a mess. But what I read is that we have an idea and we tend to explode it, blow it up, not in a good way ourselves. Like, nobody's going to like it. It's going to be shit.
I've seen that before too. I got a great idea for a business. It'd be so fun to run and do.
And you don't put it out there.
But my next step is like, how can I make this a nationwide thing? Yeah. How can I blow this up over the whole country, make $8 billion, and continue to do what I'm doing right now?
I'm talking about self blow up. We don't actualize what we're thinking about. Bring that to the fore, and then let people see it. Hey, maybe it's a great goddamn idea who everybody loves, right?
And doesn't that stuff start from kindergarten and parenting?
Very much so.
You gotta, it's sad to see at the playgrounds and stuff. It's got to start from such a young age that you're okay, it's okay, whatever it is, you're okay. Strive to be better, learn as much as you can, whatever. But it's ingrained in such a young age that, to win, to be number one, to be famous, to be...
Nothing wrong with winning.
No, not at all.
And there's nothing wrong with wanting to succeed if that's your gauge of success. But when it's taught to us as the only thing,
very much so.
And getting back to this thing that I sent you last night, being the motorcycle mechanic in Korea is just not looked highly upon.
Well, dude, the guy that used to fix my motorcycle, I would say his. We had John in here a couple weeks ago. We used to just go there and hang out for coffee and just. While he fixed something, it was like such a cool community feeling there, man. And that guy didn't have he didn't have a pot to piss in. Like he slept in
two nickels to rub together.
He slept in the. I'm pretty sure he slept in his garage. Like he had a little container like within the garage. But no, dude, Tupperware folded himself up.
But it brings around to almost like the old circular argument, John. Yeah. Like as we look on that, you saying that guy, he's happy. All right. And then I bring it to, for example, I'm teaching class of Hyundai workers. Now, Hyundai, they got the golden ticket. Do you know what I mean? But they're coming back and studying to get a piece of paper for a college certificate, a college degree, so to speak, after they're working for one of the best paying. Well, actually, what I read was that Hyundai Car has the highest salaries in the world.
For years and years.
For years and years, right. Yeah. And these guys, you know what I mean? They have got the brass ring, but they're so worried that society here doesn't look upon like you said, the motorcycle mechanic, the guy who's doing that, the lady who's running a bake shop and she's happy. Maybe she's not super rich, but circular argument. Are they happy? But we're not pushing, like Nate said, from a young age. Hey, be happy in what you do,
but also are they happy? So he likes fixing the motorbikes. He likes chatting with the bride. He comes home and the wife's giving him the gears that she can't do this, can't go on this vacation, can't buy this.
But that's if you're comparing that one. If you say I love my day to day, how can I don't know? But that's the trade off that we do. I think these days we're willing to sacrifice 6 months or 5.5 months of work for those two. Oh, I'm on a beach. Look at my pictures, and we want to rate
not
everything.
Now.
Yeah, no. But you want to. The only thing that holds value now too is when it's captured on camera. You can't just enjoy.
Very much so.
You can't just Jeff. Hold on, I gotta get a picture of this. But we can't just enjoy the. We can't enjoy the moment. We can't have the birthday
in the
party.
Moment.
But isn't that part of? Come on, we're a classic example. I freaking hate Instagram. I suck at doing those things, and I've had to learn them because if we want anyone to listen, then you've got to be able to do that stuff. Not because I want to, but it's part of the business. Part of...
It is annoying, and that's something for We Hope too, that an orphanage Christmas party. Is there anything worse than having to get together and take a picture holding a banner that says, look what we did.
Very much.
Hey, pat us on the back. It's gross. It's gross. But how do you justify... Hey, we're doing a fundraiser. You get X amount of dollars. How do you how do you justify to people, or how do you tell people where it went? if they don't see
That's
photo
the thing.
evidence. No, believe me, yeah, it's good. It's good. We had the party. Really? Yeah. Wow, it was great.
Yeah,
little
very much so.
Jimmy was smiling from ear
Oh,
to
you
ear.
got to document every aspect of everything, right? And like, I mean, I'm from a generation where that wasn't something, and I still follow that. Like taking pictures. Like, how many times have my students asked me, "Oh, hey, how many pictures do you got of Hee-Jung?"
Those
I go, I don't have one on my phone,
Keep it
right?
in my heart.
I got 7 of my dogs. I said, it's right here. I know what she is. I know what's
those
going
ladies
on.
at Playland that want to take.
Oh
10
my
pictures.
God! Everything you do, they want
Every
to take a
month is the
picture.
same as the last 20.
Yeah, and it's again documented, showing up, but at the same time, like, I mean,
What's Norm Macdonald's his bit about? You know, there's one picture of his grandpa, and it's him like picking up a pig. He's like, gotta grease them hogs or something. I don't know. He's got this hilarious one-liner about it's
There's got to be a plus side to that stuff. And I mean, for me, being able to be connected to people back home and stuff is awesome.
yeah,
And staying friends with people over the world, and
that's cool, but
that's awesome.
where's the line? Where's the line?
Is
But
there
It's a
one-
magic question.
when it gets monetized, what if we got a call tomorrow that said, "Hey, listen, pick up that Instagram account a little more. You know, start taking pictures of your your shits or whatever people want to see."
Somebody
And,
else
you know,
can do it. I got no interest in it.
yeah.
And I mean, but what if they put a price tag on it and said, "People, we like your content. Keep it going. Keep promoting Ulsan or."
Then you do it.
Well, again, how do you pass it on? Pass it along. Take it. Again, what you're saying is, hey, it's the situation, the life we're in.
Yeah.
What
Monetize.
What
you're
did
doing
Rogan
down there.
sacrifice for this Spotify deal? He loves what he does. Does Spotify tell him who his guest can and can't be now? Can he? Does he control a full say over that? Like, he was enjoying himself. He was loving it. What makes him jump ship to Spotify?
They give him $100 million.
So that's what I mean. Like, what? But if he doesn't need that, he's got enough money. He doesn't need that. What is the benefit of doing that?
He doesn't have to actively seek out.
Maybe.
Do you think he actively
sponsors.
seeks people?
Or he doesn't probably have to do his ads. Or
They
whatever.
call him the male Oprah. He doesn't have to do anything.
There you go.
He doesn't. He's
Well, but
made. He
again,
doesn't have to do anything.
Isn't that the height of being your own boss, when you control all aspects of it? You've got the money, you got the prestige.
He still does.
That's what I'm saying.
Does he
If
still have full
he's-
control?
If he's
Oh,
got
that's what he
100%,
says. Yeah.
if he's got 100% full control,
They just
and
license
he's
it.
not answering to anybody, there you go. That's look at Oprah.
Wait
It said
until
the male-
China.
if
Wait
he's
until
the male
China
Oprah.
bans Spotify for something he said.
There you go. Well,
Then he goes back on YouTube.
there you go. That's the thing.
But that's what I mean.
they're
If he's doing it, then who else isn't going to do it? If even the biggest guys are doing it, of course everyone's going to.
Well, again, if you can take that great benefit of all that money, and that at the end of the day, as my grandfather would say, you can look yourself in the mirror and you like who that person is. All right? Because, when it all comes back to one of the reasons, my contemporaries, I've been here now, almost 25 years. All right? I am able to say, I still like teaching. I don't like the aspects. I don't control everything I do. I got a lot more control than a lot of people do, basically because I think they're just afraid of me in one way. Like, what's he gonna do that if we try to control him? He
poke
might,
the sleeping bear.
don't poke that bitch. We'll just let him run. All right. But at the same time, like, the old one was the one folklore story I heard. An American businessman goes down to Sonora, Mexico, okay? Finds this custom boat builder. And he says, I love your boats. I got a great plan for you. And at the end of the day, gets him to build a bigger factory, gets him to do this. And he says, the boat builder says, so you want me to go make a huge company, and at the end of the day, I'm going to retire to where I'm living now, enjoying my life. He says, I'm fine with building one boat every year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For satisfaction. When do we know? Speaking of Mick Jagger and satisfaction, how do you know? If Joe Rogan is satisfied in his own pursuit.
You guys keep poking and fucking
Well-
Rogan and me. You guys keep pointing at me because I got a
Well,
bald head or something.
no. I knew you're always I'm only pointing at you because you're a big Joe Rogan fan. I think Joe
Absolutely.
Rogan's awesome. Awesome, because I remember, what was the sitcom he started on? Where he was kind of a non-entity on that one. Like,
He was on
didn't
Fear
do much.
Factor.
No, it was before that. That was something radio.
News radio.
Talk radio, news radio. Anyway, and Joe, and I'm glad that he's done all those things that he's got to do. But at the end of the day, if Joe is happy being Joe, Bill Gates is happy being Bill, yeah, they've done well for themselves. They've done amazingly so. But when they get to a certain point, as you said, what's driving him?
How does Bezos look in the mirror?
Well, I have no idea.
Backwards through his legs. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He gives bald guys a bad fucking name. And his name's Jeff. Jeff, and he's bald, man. Fuck, at least give me $100 million or something so I can take some of the heat for you, you little prick.
I saw the funniest thing that he's like denying his workers any healthcare benefits.
Right. Yeah.
But since the start of the pandemic, his increase in wealth is enough to pay each of his workers $100,000.
Jeez.
And he would just be like back to normal.
Yeah.
Back to his pre-COVID.
His pre-COVID numbers.
Billions.
Yeah.
Jesus. Speaking of, I had a pre-COVID number.
His wife just donated $5 billion.
Oh, she took all the money from the divorce, and she divested herself. Because you know why? Maybe she couldn't look at herself in the mirror. Maybe she was married to that little prick too long. Eh? And that bald little. Anyway, but yeah, like I mean,
listen, you said about being happy and you still enjoy teaching.
Yeah,
I still love teaching. I still like working with people, connecting with lots of people, and not sitting at an office desk all day. It's just not for me. I like to communicate. I like to get out there. I like to have influence, or not influence. I like to have the opportunity to influence young people's lives. And we've had friends who've left that weren't, they don't like teaching. They didn't like teaching. They weren't here because they were a teacher. They were here however they got here in the beginning, and now they moved on to other things. But I think, you said you can't control everything.
No.
And I think Dad always used to tell me, listen, you can't bitch and complain about everything. If you love teaching, it doesn't matter where you go, you're still going to have the administrative problems.
100%.
You go back to Canada and get your dream job, you're still going to have stress and problems from other people. It doesn't disappear. So
Brian, you and I were saying the other day about grass is always greener, man. Looking at another, was it me and you last night or somebody? One of us said that. And I was just saying, looking at somebody else's job, like, oh, look at over there. That guy's got this and he's doing well over here. Oh, I wish I had a job at that university. I wish I was doing that.
That loops back into the social media too, where you're only promoting the good part of your job. No one's putting up like my bosses, or maybe
except for Aiden Dunn.
You want a clear look at life.
Well, that's why I don't go into social media, because as you both know, I have one friend on Facebook and I didn't even put my name in. It's Nate. And every day I get requests for friends on Facebook and say, you don't want me as a friend because I'm going to bitch and moan and complain. But at the same time, what you talked about earlier, we've got to promote the positive aspects of it. Because if you want to promote the negative aspects of anything, it's so easily done because that's the news.
So for that one, it doesn't matter what job or what city or what country or what church. It doesn't matter. You're always going to have something to complain about. So if you enjoy 90% of it, I consider that extremely happy.
It's a win.
You're always going to have to eat the 10%. It doesn't matter.
Very much
so. Just take it.
But maybe that's just if you're optimistic or pessimistic, man.
Very much. Glass half full or half empty.
You teach privates, bro. You gotta drive in traffic every day. Yeah. You gotta drive through the rotaries. Oh, I hate that shit.
I love being in the car, listening to the tunes or the podcast. So speaking of promoting the good part of it, the good side of it, one guy that should be at the top of that list, at least domestically here, should be Ryan Estrada. And we had him on a few weeks ago, and he said, I wrote these things 10 years ago. 8 years ago. They've been in the vault. People have declined them for years and years and years, and now it seems like he's had a series of events unfold, and he's starting to really hit it.
3 decades down the line. He's been doing it for 30 years, man.
Of what?
Writing comics, books.
But just fringe. Not totally fringe, but like he doesn't stick to one genre, right?
Does whatever he wants.
And he said his whole career, all of the publishers have said, dude, you got to stick to one genre. You write only vampire stories, or you only do this or that. He released his graphic novel about his wife's story, the Banned Book Club. He's got like a Scholastic book about T-Rexes or some shit. just a bunch of random collection of stuff. And he said people are looking at his website now that he's had a couple of hits, and it's picking up steam. And everyone's like, "Oh, this is cool. This is interesting." And they're
signing deals here and there. And he's like, I've been shot down so many times. I kind of gave up on some of this stuff, and now it's all coming back. And it's like, holy man, now I got a few different deals at the same time. And
good for him.
And that's the thing. Just keep doing what he put one on their social media. He said, just do what you like doing. Just do it, and eventually someone might appreciate it and enjoy it.
That's the Alan Watts. What
but
makes
there
you
is,
tick?
but there is on the obverse of the coin is you still got to pay the bills. You still got to live. You still got to do that. And I'm saying great and all that, but if it's
that's why he teaches.
There
right?
you go. So like,
teach to pay the bills and then do what you
100%.
enjoy.
As long as you got that, I have been harping, especially on my nursing students. You better get a hobby that makes you happy. And if that hobby can turn into a full-time passion and a pursuit and a money-making thing, all the power to you. But,
don't you think anything that you're super passionate about, if you're putting it out into the world, that will attract people?
Yes and no. Like if you're super passionate about being a serial killer, right? You put it out into the world, it could be a great book, but you're going to jail.
They just cracked the Zodiac
I
killers.
saw that
was
thing
really
about the
cool.
Zodiac killers.
Did you watch a video how they
I
did
didn't
it?
see how they did it, but I read that
wild.
they did that.
It's wild, man. They cracked this guy's, it was after 50 years or whatever.
But Brian, taking that from that, putting that goodness into the world, I think that goodness in the world, I don't care if it benefits you monetarily. All right? But putting that goodness into the world is what we need.
Yeah.
The world needs right now. Like you got to put more goodness into the world because, hey, John Lennon, you can say what you want, but he said, imagine what we could do. Put good things. Bob Marley, putting forth love, putting forth this, putting forth that. I think it's going to be a good return, whether you believe in karmic, payback or what have you, wherever you're going to believe. If you constantly put that, like this guy, what's his name, Ryan
Estrada,
and he's been doing that, paying the bills, and now he's starting to, God love him for it, all right? But so many people, I feel, are spinning their tires, unhappy with what they do, and they don't have something secondary, something, a hobby like that. You've got hockey that you love, all right? You've always been into staying in good shape and working out and doing that, and good for your health. For me, it's the cooking, man. I love just getting in my kitchen and enjoying and creating. And I do have one hobby I've kept under wraps for a lot of time. I like to
chronic masturbation.
No, I like to cross dress. It's not that. Yeah, I have a dress with a cross on it. It's for Braveheart, and I just yell freedom a lot of times. And I don't care. And it just really struck home this point. Yesterday, I had a Zoom interview. Final one with one of my young nursing guys. The kid's named Momo. All right, I love the name Momo. It's a Nepalese Mandu and a large New Zealand guy that we used to know. Momo, if you ever hear this, miss you, brother. Anyway, and then you're such a Momo. Nate's quite a bit of a Momo. Anyway, he's talking about. He says, "You know what my passion is?" I said, "I don't know." He says, "Busking." I'm like, oh, that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, I'm going to be a nurse, paid the bills, but I have such a good time. And he said he's busked. That's a hard one to spit out here. Speaking of spitting it out, no, we won't go there. Gum, of course. Yeah. He did it at Ulsan Beach and all that. And we had just this, the interview was over and we just talked about the Busker Festival in Toronto. Yeah. All right. And that he's got to get there for that. And how he loves, hearing different music and doing all this. And it was a passion for him. It wasn't about his making money. It made him feel good. Yeah. And he's like, Jeff, I'll message you the next time I'm busking in public. I said, I'll be there. And I said, I'll start yelling at people to give you money. But that he had something. that made him happy, that didn't make him a robotic automaton that is doing.
You need.
Yeah,
that.
like I don't know,
Whatever
it be.
Life can't be, maybe unless Netflix is your passion, but life can't be work Netflix.
Well, again, if Netflix makes you happy, my grandmother said it best, man. If you're okay with it, makes you smile, and you're not taking it out on somebody else, man.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. Like
what would we say for a balanced life that you should probably have something active in that regard also, a passive hobby and maybe an active hobby, because
I think it'd be a great thing.
Work on the sofa is not going to last long. I mean,
unless your work is lifting.
And look what's happening now with computers and.
But you know what I mean, though. That's not.
Such.
The work in the sofa is not. Look what's happened in the West.
What if you work on the sofa?
Yeah.
Like,
what if you work lifting sofa?
Oh, no, there you go, Winifred. So, like,
but some part of your life has to be active.
I agree.
I agree. I mean, obviously, for some people, it's not possible, but for the general population, there's got to be some form of activity.
Full of quadriplegic
complaints,
aggressions.
Well, again. Activities are all good. I can't believe you two go there. But at the same time, as you said, some people don't have that. But I think if you're active in your mind, like, I mean, if you've got something that stretches your mind, for example, I love crosswords to death, reading, right? You can't always do this.
Drugs.
What's that? Well, again, hey.
So what we're talking about is just a balanced life.
Well, yeah, 100%. Having a pursuit that makes you happy to balance it.
How about this?
Is that new or not?
To sum it up, have a balanced life. It doesn't have to be extreme to be worthy or to be satisfying. Well, you don't have to be on the upper echelons of.
It just has to make you happy.
That's what I was just going to say.
It's just got to make you happy.
I've been struggling with
what is worthy for you. As long as you got it okay, brother. Yeah. If that makes you, at the end of the day, as I said before, look in the mirror and say, hey, brother, you're all right. Or as John Cougar Menstrual Cramp said, I'm sorry, Mellencamp. I mispronounce that quite often, right? As he often said, and he said in one of my favorite songs, Between a Laugh and a Tear, smile in the mirror as you walk by. If you can do that, and pre-COVID, hitting the COVID big ones, I wasn't smiling in the mirror walking by. Now, feeling better. But in your professional, private pursuits, whatever it is.
That's the thing, though. There's so many aspects now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm happy with how I am as a father, but I could be better as a professor or better as a husband, or I'm happy as a husband.
But I think it's a constant pursuit of never being totally sad. I don't think it's good if you ever sat down and went like, I'm killing it.
I'm king of the world. By the way, executive producer, Stanford High School graduate, Niagara Falls, Canada. Yeah, baby.
Nothing left to improve here.
Yeah, 100%. We got to strive. Yeah. We got to strive. Like I said, you guys said, 57, what's the epiphany of getting in shape, being better, feeling better, is all the things coming up. Like, I mean, you need to have that. And Nate hit it best with work-life balance. Of course, you look at some, I am killing it as a husband. I'm ranking 11 out of 10. I'll tell you that much, woman. Hope you listen to this. No, but, you're not going to hit it on there. Like your dad said, 10% of everything. If you've only got 10% bitching, like you are, in my boy, you are doing damn good. But again, trying, Brian said it, striving, satisfaction. I don't think you ever get completely satisfied, because then comes complacency. With complacency brings on a slow death, right? Sitting on that sofa, not looking forward to anything anymore.
That's what I hate about the traditional concept of like dial it in for 30 years and then it's time to sit back and watch TV forever.
Well, there you go.
There should always be something that you're trying to do.
Look at my mom, 81 years old, and she's
just winning lotteries.
Well, she won the lottery, did that thing. She did. God love her. But she's still doing Meals on Wheels. She's doing house sitting with people who can't get out. Going in. She's active as shit.
I think most older people are doing what most younger people would like to do.
There you go.
I mean, golfing, relaxing, volunteering, working part-time jobs where they kind of want.
If you give up the massive house and the super expensive car and shit, you can do that. Yeah, you can have a reasonable life. But you want to have the big dick contest of who's got bigger this or more better real estate there than you got.
But it's not. There's more to it than that. You got kids and you got activities and this. You got to pay the bills, like you said. You got to.
On some level, but you don't have to buy the $1 million house.
But that comes back to promoting the good people. As Nate said, the good role models who have stepped off the grid or stepped back from that and pursued something that has been altruistic, shall we say. Yeah. All right? But many of the people that have been able to do that, such as a Bill Gates, who I mentioned, hey, man, when you got a couple of billion in the bank, pretty easy to step off and do something else. You know what I mean?
I like the Dave Grohl. He was talking about his song Hero. There goes my hero. But he said on the Howard Stern, he did an acoustic one on Howard Stern. And
isn't that AJ's buddy, my hero?
No.
Was he hooked up with a certain young lady?
Do one. AJ's friend.
Do one. AJ's friend.
Where's that guy, man?
Well, no, that's if we went, where's that guy? That would be just an hour and a half of, who's that guy? Where's that guy? Mark Brown and I do it after too many cocktails. You'll remember him. I swear to God, I have no idea who you're talking about. You know him. And then I said, Duan. I go, remember Duan, AJ's friend? Duan. And he's like, who the hell was Duan? And I go, oh, my Lord. Yeah, bringing that back. You were saying?
But Dave Grohl, he's like, or Stern is kind of grilling him. He's like, this song's about Kurt Cobain, isn't it? It's about, and he's like, no, dude, it's not. He said, it's about, it's a boot. It's a boot. Yeah, boot and a boot. No, he said it's about how he respects everyday heroes. Like he said, the everyday hero, like that single mom that's killing it and keeping shit together, keeping a roof over the kid's head. Like that's he respects those people a lot more than a celebrity who like you said has $1 billion. And like, this is my new single. I don't know what a stupid example there, but he said he loves the everyday person.
I got that, and I get that there's a level of celebrity. For example, doesn't it matter to you guys who you look up to as a celebrity or whatever? For example, I hated Phil Mickelson. Never liked the guy. Yeah. Then I read in a fantastic story about he's one of the most generous, giving individuals. Tips everybody
and
around.
Prolific losers on the PGA.
Yeah, again, he done that. And Tiger Woods is the tight-fisted, amazingly talented gentleman, and he may be great in Tiger Foundation, but
hold on, are you reading? Do you happen to be reading testimony from his old girlfriends?
Yeah, well, possibly, right? I don't know. Tiger's old ex-wife Ellen. Woo-hoo, that's a babe. But coming back to that, looking at him. And then shedding new light on him. Like, are we going to promote those people that give back well, that live a good life, like a Dave Grohl saying honoring a hero? And it's the same thing for me.
Do you know the life that guy is? Keep on, yeah.
He's, can you imagine?
His mom was a high school teacher.
Right.
And she realized, she's like, Dave, like, school's not for you.
There you go.
And then he dropped out I'm pretty sure he dropped out of high school and toured Europe being a drummer.
There you go. Awesome, Dave Grohl. Can you imagine? Think about him. How talented he is. But he went from Nirvana to the Foos. He's been excellent in everything he's done, and he was a drummer.
Listen, he's got a big hand in the annual fight against influenza.
Oh, he's in. And there you go.
He started
there, but you just emphasize my point. That we back everyday heroes, but even the celebrities that are great and giving back. Hey, man.
He's got a new vaccine coming up.
Does he?
The flu fighter.
Very nice.
But that's the thing. And if you do it and you do something and you're not the famous celebrity and you do something good, then all of a sudden you are the celebrity.
Yeah.
You're the next hottest guy on YouTube. And who's this guy, Logan Paul? He's fighting Floyd Mayweather?
No, he's not.
Dude, January 20th.
Bullshit.
I never
Who's
even heard of the
Logan?
freaking guy, and he's a
Logan
YouTube
Paul?
guy, and he's fighting. Dude, him and his
he's
brother
not
are
fighting.
YouTube guys.
I know who Logan Paul is.
They
He's
signed
not-
a contract, dude, and he's just signed
Floyd
to fight Mayweather.
is fighting. I know that, but I didn't know who he was fighting.
Yes, he is.
But he definitely is fighting.
What's his name?
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
Dude, that is not true.
And there you go.
Mayweather-
He said I didn't think it was true, and then my
All right.
agent said, "Show me the contract." Fuck you!
Speaking-
Come on,
we switch MMA, and I just read that Conor McGregor just bailed out
Of his Poirier fight?
No, he bailed out a gym in Ireland of a guy he came up with, and they had to shut down whatever it was. Conor McGregor, as public opinion, maybe he's a bit of a prick. He comes off as this, but here is this guy giving back to his community, like, promote this stuff.
Yeah.
But we want to promote,
it's another-
him throwing a chair through a window and half blinding a guy. Why is that part of the thing? It's like Gordon Ramsay. I love cooking shows. I love watching him. You see him on his cooking shows, he's such a dick.
Yeah.
And then you watch him on his professional series, and I'm in love with the guy. Like, he's so positive and how you can make great stuff. And then when he does his international journeys and his, like, to get big, Nate, to be that guy, you need to promote. So it's like the double-edged sword. Yeah. What do you want to say? Two sides of the coin. To live well, all right, to get to a certain level where you don't got to worry about it.
To bring it back to Rogan, that's something that I've liked and that I do respect about him. How maybe uncool it is to be a fan these days, because he has grown, quite a large audience. But
and I'm one of those anti-fan guys. I didn't like the guy. I hated Kurt Cobain when he was getting big. I've only grown to respect him after he passed. You know what I mean?
But he's
pissed off because he's doing well.
Yeah, well, I like that he's maintained, I think, his core values of
drinking, smoking, and swearing.
There you go. Good for him.
That was a good one. Keeping an open mind, and not putting more love into the world than being.
I like
being
that.
A hater, man. I like that.
That's why we respected the hell out of Oprah.
But
sorry, she's another one. I think she's kept her core
Jeff,
values
Look
intact.
under your chair.
Oh God, I wish I was on Oprah. I don't care if there's a keys, if there's a feather under my chair. I just want to be on Oprah. I love the lady. I think she's fantastic.
Is she still going?
She's doing private interviews. I saw her do a private interview with it. She's running her network, she's behind the scenes. But I just found that why I love Oprah, all right, is she promotes positivity. She's pumping people up. She's trying to,
Not in her early career.
What's that?
Like Ellen?
Not in her early career.
What's that?
Ellen?
Ellen, I
Hold
love
on.
her
Hey, don't
too.
forget about Oprah's early stuff.
Such as what?
Wasn't she she was like a Jerry Springer at one point, wasn't she? Like, let's bring out the
Springer's one of a kind, buddy.
No, dude. Hey, Oprah's early stuff wasn't.
Again, I don't.
No, it
remember
wasn't
her
anywhere
early
near
stuff.
as sophisticated as her older
Not
stuff.
she
but
was just a local talk show host, and then she got
Blossomed
promoted in the Chicago area. I don't know her exact one. I just think, Ellen, God love her too. She promotes and pumps up and donates and gives money here
but
and
then
there.
she gets burned treating her employees like shit.
Yeah. Then again, that's the deal. And if she doesn't know that, and somebody behind the scenes is but there you go. 90-10 rule.
Yeah.
90-10 rule.
Right.
All right. 10% of the somebody gonna come back
90
and
happy audience
there you go.
members,
90 you got 90% of your
10
staff is
coworkers
good,
with
and
black
there's
Cancel.
that
Cancel.
one. Yeah, the cancel culture. Somebody gonna be
Is she
pissed
off
off you for somebody.
What?
She's done.
No, she's back on.
Oh, I don't
She
know.
just got
She
corona.
apologized.
She
and
got the Rona?
did the deal.
Yeah, she's got it last week.
I just found out my niece had corona in England.
Huh.
Yeah, but she
Okay,
popped through it.
hold on
the
here.
whole deal.
So back
What's
to
this
this
Logan
guy,
Paul?
Logan Paul, fighting Mayweather.
Who the hell is Logan
This is
Paul?
what people want to be. Logan Paul.
They want
YouTubers.
They want to get knocked out.
Famous YouTubers, the guys.
It says it's an exhibition match. It's going to be like Tyson,
Right, but if this kind of match is going to get more pay-per-views than Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder,
oh, I agree. Yeah.
that what kind of place are we living in? I mean, Deontay Wilder and Fury are guys who put in careers. Fury's come back from the dead,
Yeah.
and he was like double the weight. He's come back through addiction, and everything else. But this Logan Paul guy is going to get more pay-per-view subscriptions. Come on,
People want to see him get knocked out.
it's insane.
Well,
but-
it's like
Hold on, dude. They're completely different sizes.
Yeah, he's huge, and Mayweather's tiny.
Did you see his last fight there before Tyson?
No.
He fought some NBA guy and like smoked him in the back of the head, knocked this guy out in 2 seconds.
Isn't it
I felt terrible.
Isn't that his brother?
And then he called out, didn't he? He called out McGregor.
No, but isn't that his brother? This guy's not the guy who was fighting the basketball. This is his brother. His brother only had one fight, and it was a draw against DMZ or somebody. Yeah, TKZ, somebody. That's who he fought. He had one fight.
The military
the guy
is so much. Jesus, that's
guy,
a big fight.
The guy who beat up the basketball guy is his brother.
Logan Paul's going to wrestle a tiger in the
there
DMZ.
you go, in the DMZ.
Surrounded by
Kim
landmines.
Jong-un will come in on a flying unicorn and burn him with his just breath.
KSI.
Over there.
After a loss to KSI.
Is that a rapper?
Whoever KSI is. You have no idea.
Listen to this.
You're talking about his brother. Who's his brother? Somebody else.
You're talking
Paul.
about his brother. Speaking, just to bring it back to that to the Tyson fight, dude. How things have changed. I've somehow switched roles with my father.
Oh,
listen to this one.
guarantee.
It's like a freaky.
We all are.
It was like a freaky Sunday. Listen to this. I call home. My brother's got the Tyson match.
Right.
On his, he's playing it in his garage. He's got a couple buddies over. My dad shows up with a mask on. So there was like, did you watch the Tyson
I
fight?
just think of Gino in a mask. Is he Halloween or
No, he's got his Rona mask on. But there's like people rapping in between. First of all, my dad's on the oil for his back. Yeah, he's doing
CBD,
CBD, or
nice.
yeah, I think he's on the little THC now. I'm not joking. Told me, he's like, Brian, woke up the other day, 2 a.m. starving. Had a salami sandwich. And then I went back to, I swear to God.
The salams?
Salami sandwich. He goes, and then I was still hungry, so I had a peanut butter jam sandwich. Gino's getting the munchies. Anyways,
nice.
Dude, listen to this. I call on Facebook Messenger there. We got the video up. So my dad's high. And, dude, and some rapper comes out. Have you ever heard of The Weeknd?
Yeah.
I've never heard of this
Canadian.
guy.
He's huge.
Never heard of him.
I never heard of him either until last week, and then I looked and I'm like, I know all his songs. Like, they play all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
He comes out, and my dad's
Not
like,
a Canadian boy.
He's throwing out facts about this guy. Oh, got snubbed at the Grammys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I learned about him.
Big controversy because he got screwed at the Grammys.
Me and my dad
he's
completely.
the best.
And I was like,
My
who is
dad's
this
living
guy?
in
your dad dropping knowledge on you, eh?
He's living my 18-year-old existence.
I YouTubed him, and I'm like, oh shit, I know all these songs.
100%. He's quite.
Because I thought, is this like who's the guy in the NBA who changed his name to C3PO or something?
Oh,
like you can't just make your name The Weeknd. Who
Meta
Sequoia.
Yeah,
Meta Life, whatever.
Had a life, meta life, want a life, get a life.
So I checked that guy out, and that's what I found. Yeah,
he's The Weeknd. Yeah,
he's pretty popular,
really, and he's quite talented. I saw him on before COVID. Saw him on Colbert there, and he did.
What happened to Drake?
Funky. Drake's still doing well, I guess.
He's up. That's his buddy.
There you go.
Hundreds of millions on YouTube.
I saw something pop up the other day. Drake's got tattoos all over his back. Yeah. Someone wrote it, bro, it looks like a Zoom meeting call. He's got all different tattoos and faces on his back. It's like, dude, it looks like a Zoom chat on your back.
Anyway,
Zoom.
Paul's brother you're talking about was Jake Paul, who's beat those two guys.
Who are you talking about?
His brother Logan Paul's fighting Mayweather.
The Pauls.
They're both famous now. Whoever they
anybody fighting RuPaul?
What's their?
I'm just wondering. Logan Paul. I love RuPaul. RuPaul, get in there.
RuPaul's got a masterclass.
Yeah.
There's
so many master classes on there.
How come you don't have one yet?
What's that? I'm going to have a master class, but it's going to be a master debating class, all right? Master debating. Switch hands, you'll feel
Cougar.
better with John Cougar Menserkamp. Yeah? Remember, you don't want the carpal tunnel, so switch hands, all right? Keep your on.
Listen. I wrote down cooking here. I put down cooking. You love to cook. You're cooking all day at school.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're in the culinary department or the English department. I put here, when do you slow down? When does the stamina start going? I mean, I read about it now. I'm 40, but I read about guys losing their stamina and their power, and you should be taking hormone replacements and this and that. You're still, in my view, A+ active in terms of Compared to some other guys we know, you got the energy, you got the gusto, and you give her. When do you start to slow down? You're almost 60. When do you think it
I
starts?
don't know, and that's
do
one
you
of the
think
things.
about those?
I do, and coming back to the epiphanical period. Oh, Jesus, pulling the words out of my very hairy derriere. Oh, there we go.
He hasn't trimmed the.
No, I haven't changed that, but I should trim the other side there. Yeah, it makes the pecker look a lot bigger. I'll tell you that much. Great for yourself. Lose the gut, trim the hair, and I swear to God, you are going to be in a movie.
Are you still
You're all
braiding
good.
it?
Pardon me?
Are you still braiding it?
Oh, I braid it and hang things from it. You know, like sometimes wind chimes. It's quite good.
Some Christmas tinsel.
But no, Nate. Coming back to that is this summer. One of the things was I'd lost my mojo. I'd lost my real stamina.
Was your Wi-Fi down?
Yeah, I lost mojo on the thing. This is the movie mojo, and I had lost my get up and go, my ability to work long and do the deal. And I was so happy when I got back into it, me and the dog walking there, and 4 hours of hiking, and I could really move, and I got it back, and I'm working like you've seen me go. I'll do 3 different cooking parties in a day. All right, and I know
I don't mean just physical, like it's mentally.
Yeah,
training.
100%. But I look at it like this: at the end of the day, I need one of the group. I told you about the 2 Uzbek students. Made me a hand-painted mug. How much that mug costs? It costs maybe $2. But they put their heart and soul.
Yeah.
$2 thought gift. A thought gift. Hey, be bright and merry from Dee and Lyra, right? You know, there you go. That's the mental ability to go. Just a little thanks. I don't need the money. And that comes back to exactly what we're talking about. The stamina for me is a mental thing. I think it's anybody can do it physically. I'm 57, but I can give her. I've always been able to give her. I've worked hard all my life. I'll continue to work hard. But to want to work hard, all right? Because at the end of the day, I enjoy what I'm doing. And when my students, message me and give me the feedback of, teacher, I had a great time today. Or one of my nursing students says, I've never done a video. Why haven't I been allowed to do videos? What do you mean you haven't done a video for school? Because these professors don't want to adapt, don't want to update. Don't get me started on these professors and what the hell goes on with them. But you know what I mean? My stamina is the mental point of going, you know what? I'm quite enjoying this, and I'm quite sure they're getting it. When they turn around and give me something, a mug painted on it. The other day, one of the young men brought me in some cookies he made. All right, teacher, I made these for you because you're always, you brought these in for us, and I think that's it. Now, when will it start going to the end? Basically, when you run into the wall too many times.
The mental is also directly connected to the physical. Yeah. And for me, like we went for the hike the other day. Yeah. What, 5 kilometers maybe? I don't know, 6, 7. We were up and down in the hills, and then yesterday, I go, holy shit, I can barely walk, and my foot, and it's not. It's part the hike, and it's part that the weather is freezing now, and my foot is arthritic, and it just kind of seizes up now, and I'm like, oh man, when it's not cold out, I never think about it. When I'm back home, when I was living back home, and now I understand why they go to Florida, because you're like a robot in the morning trying to de-ice yourself.
Marky and I were talking about it. It's like that REM song, Now it's everything hurts. It's so not everybody hurts. It's true, Nate. It's everything in the morning. The worst thing in the morning, guys. The best. I heard this comedian and it made me pee because he said, "How do you know you're old? When you go to bed and you wake up with more pain than you went to bed. You wake up and you're like, the shoulder. I need a massage there. I'll tell you, gentlemen, as you get older, heated bed, the heated mat, and I've seen all these Craftmatic original ones, and I forget who's promoting it, a football player, not Ezekiel, Des Bryant, the Cowboys guy who got his leg horrifically broken this year.
Oh, didn't he come back?
He's coming back and he's doing well, which is great. But anyway, he's promoting that, and I'm like, heated things and the whole deal. But I know. You're getting old, young man.
I
Buck
was-
up, camper.
Even, I mean, being in, I think, pretty good shape, I was at the park. I think it was like on a Sunday morning, man. And
Niagara Falls 2.0.
yeah, we were just at a regular park, and my kid was jumping from one little kind of post to the next one. And I went, hey, watch this. I'll jump from, this side to this side. And it was like a meter and a half, like an easy kind of jump. Hadn't warmed up or anything. And I just went, whoop, boom. I landed like a ton of bricks. I was like, holy shit, I could like blow my knees out doing stuff like this. And it was freezing
that's
walking
the
up.
thing.
So
That's the prep time and the downtime.
That's part of the
is a little
slowdown and the stamina I'm talking about. Like, I've had dislocated shoulders and broken noses and hands, and I got some parts problems from hockey. But I mean, you don't ever think, like, if that knee goes, or if you have that little nagging pain in your ankle, now you can't walk anymore.
Yeah.
That takes out the walking. It takes out the health of that. It takes
so.
out your time with your dog. Like,
Again, I talked to it earlier. Soju. Drink a lot more soju, because when you do fall, it greases up the joints. You fall better.
Like
You don't fall so. No, but I know what you're saying. And what I was coming back to is when I got back in shape, I'm so glad. And whoever's up there looking out for me, I like you said earlier though about luck of the draw. I've been in a motorcycle accident where the cop walked up and said, "Where's the dead guy?" All right. I've had some horrific injuries along the way, but walking, I'm still able to clip, and I was passing people that are like half my age. And DNA, luck of the draw, what do you call it? But I'm still able to give her a full day. And I got a wife that I said earlier, 11 and a half years old. She's getting up from the floor and, oh my God, it sounds like an African tribal chant of how much pain she's in. And
well, that's why I think no matter what I have, I can't bitch and whine. That's the 10%.
There we go.
I can't bitch and whine because
90-10.
There's guys who are whining about everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you guys are young bucks, man. I'm not that old, but
no.
I know why I hurt. I know what accidents or injuries I've had in the past, and that's part of what I got to live with, and the decisions I made when I was younger. But
I just and I don't know how long I can maintain doing it, but if I have any aches or pains, it's like heated. Like if I tweak my back every day, and stretching or running. I don't know, man. After a run, everything just feels.
That's after hockey, I feel like $1 million.
Everything
no matter what condition I show up in. After hockey,
I took the
I
dog
feel
for
like
a walk,
$1 million.
and I said to Hee-Chung, I'm going to do a power walk. And I started from my apartment in Samson, went to the Whale Bridge and back. And again, I came back out of there, and I'm like, dun da da da. I felt like $1 million coming out. I had a good sweat, had the good deal. But I also think, and I talked about this, Nate, with students, it's positive attitude. One of my students said, you're a pretty happy guy. And I have been a pretty happy guy. But I could also think of the negatives in my life.
Sure.
All the bullshit that happened. All things that happen, all right?
And I'm not saying you, but so was who are the Jim Carrey? And who's the chef?
Bourdain.
These guys were all, I'm not saying you, but I'm saying these guys were all those happy. Nobody could ever guess it. They were the most amazing, happiest, funnest guys.
About Jim Carrey didn't kill himself.
Who's
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, sorry.
No, but Jim Carrey grew up, man. His parents were so poor. He lived in a car.
Oh, I heard that.
And his parents, I'm not joking, his parents were midnight janitors. And they'd go in and shower at night, and then he'd go to school in the morning. And, isn't that wild?
Did.
Anyways, I just, for those, I always, you never know what the hell's going on. Everyone's like, I used to be very judgmental and very quick to come to conclusions. And
Well, see.
what I've learned the last maybe 5 years or matured over is just step back, don't say anything. You don't know.
Yes.
And we can message each other about something we've seen online 10 times a day.
Well, Jesus,
I said, I know we're grown up because we look at these and we laugh at other people commenting and going, I was going to say about 20 things and I just didn't say anything. He's like, oh, me too.
Well, I look at it, for example.
It doesn't help anyone. It's
the
not
guy
necessary.
sitting next to me, all right? His attitude, like where you finally, in my opinion, like when you first got married, you were looking with rose-colored glasses at the world, in my opinion. But now as you've matured, you're like so much easier to just rock the questionnaires about like, oh my God, you can't believe. And again, guys, I've been I consider myself transparent. I share the stupid things, like when I split my pants open and I'm rocking the SpongeBob underwear and two Ajumas coming up at the college. And instead of, I'm telling everybody about that because I think it's damn funny and being open. And I've tried to be that, but I think what I've noticed in you especially is attitude. Yeah, that's not right. But I'm doing these good things. And it's your attitude. And
that's what Bry's
attitude, attitude.
What if somebody calls you out?
Why are the three of us so close? Huh? Think about it. We're not as close I'm close to the other guys, right? But the older guys, a lot of them, you guys sometimes are like, but we stay close. Why? Because my attitude, I want to learn. You can teach me things. And I think many people get to the point, and this relates directly back to having the stamina. It's the mental attitude of wanting to learn, like wanting to live. To be better. To do that. I can get better every day. Hey, man, I like myself.
He asked me.
I like myself in the mirror.
He says many times, someone's going to call you out for this. I said, hey, the past, the Korean saying, the past is past, buddy.
There you go.
I've learned and grown so much. I mean, from 15 years ago, from 10 years ago, from 5 years ago, and I don't regret anything I've done in the past, but sure, I mean, we all change, we all learn and grow, but I got no problem.
There was that one time with the Mexican under 8 oats, and
I got no problem saying, hey, that was a different era, that was a different me.
100%.
Then I was single, then I was newly married, then I was a newly father, now I'm an older father. And it's just different stages, man.
As you said,
I always wonder what like 70, 80-year-olds are looking at the whole world just going, you idiots.
Yeah.
You'll get here at some point. Yeah.
And I think we all that. But Nate, you made a good point, though, too, is that, we all have our collective garbage bags, the luggage that we're carrying. Oh. How much do you look back into that and go, if you let that, it's the old Catholic guilt, me being raised Catholic. I'm sorry, I'm not looking back at that. 17 years old, breaking into 17 cars. Am I going to let that affect me for the rest of my life?
They bring up Obama was smoking a joint in grade 7.
Let it go.
Okay, so I did that, and
Has he moved on? Has he become... And we're bringing, like I said, bringing it along to who do you follow?
That's...
Right?
Speaking of baggage, I think now I'm
Proto Baggins or Bilbo Baggins?
Saggy Baggins.
Oh, is he near the Soggy Bottom boys? No, those are the Soggy Bottoms are not the Bagginses, and the Baggins is the...
I think I'm getting better at noticing why people do
Consider
things.
The source. That's mine. I told that to Hijo.
But why?
Yeah.
Why?
What's their motivation?
Or, like you said, the baggage that they're carrying. Are they doing it because... this happened or because they've had this experience?
I think that's the biggest question of maturity.
When I what I think when he asked me like how, what if people, my answer is look at me now.
Yeah.
Look at me now. Look what I do now. And you can say I've changed, like these guys who go to court or to jail and they come back for their trials and I've changed. Show me, what have you done?
There you go.
So I think if you look at the two of us and from 10 years ago to now, I mean, I think there's a constant progression of change and for the better.
So.
And
respect.
I mean, from the NGO to kids to being involved in the community and stuff, regardless of whatever's been done in the past, I mean, we've learned and grown and matured drastically over time. Seeing
a change in you, and you look at young people now who are doing dumb shit, and you're almost understanding or expecting like,
or old stupid people like me and going out and getting drunk, and you're thinking, well, Jeffrey ain't doing that every night. He does it once a week as an outlet, but he's not acting like an asshole. He's not doing that. But in the beginning, I remember before you guys, like we like to do that. That's what we do. But look what I'm doing day to day. Look what I'm... Yeah, again. And what's the positive shit?
A lot of... I think a lot of my early years here with, the binged. I don't even know if binge is the
No.
correct word. What's the next? What's the next level?
Can we do binge to the second power or something like that? And like binge deluxe? I don't know. We got turbo binge.
Turbo binge.
Turbo binging.
But it was just. I think that was just like. I've worked
There you go.
80 hours this week. Time to blow my brains out on
100%.
Saturday.
There we go.
I was just thinking, who
We worked hard,
was
we played
describing
hard.
2020? The dumpster fire
Oh,
going
yeah, I
downhill,
heard someday,
backwards,
yeah.
upside down.
It's true. But, Bri, what you were saying, though, like, I mean, my wife and I talked about this quite a bit, and as of late, and consider the source. As we get older, hopefully we're able to look at, you said, what's their motivation? Why are they saying it? And not sit there, and you said the same thing, is looking at them like, I really want to go off on this mofo.
Yeah.
All right? I really want to get them between this. Why I don't go on Facebook, 100%. So I just blast people. But you know what I mean? I want to consider the motivation. And I just want to encapsulate this in this idea. One of my older students, a gentleman asked me, how do you feel about Trump? And I said, I hate him. And he said, why? Politics? I said, has nothing to do with politics. I consider his motivation for doing it, and it's only for himself. He's not trying to better anything. He's not trying to make people learn. He's just about self-promotion. So when I consider his source of what he's done, all right, and where the deal is, and then I look at Joe Biden. Is Joe Biden my choice? Do I want him? No, but I look at his motivation. He wants Sleepy Joe. But I truly believe, and Nate and I, we talked about this many a time, and I listened to the Political One, got a degree in political science, very interested in hearing, following as the world does, but looking at it as I get older, all right, why I don't like that guy is because he's lying to people who don't know better, and they're buying it, all right? They're not.
It's not every politician.
Well, guaranteed, but they don't consider the source. So I'm saying, as I hopefully get older, get more insight into. I have tried to look at people, especially in the Korean education system, which is an oxymoron in itself. All right, I have tried to look at them and say, okay, what are they trying to do? Are they in it for themselves? Are they only self-promoting, trying to get the best, or are they really trying to do a better job, but they really don't know how? My point being is that look at the source, who's coming from where, and what's the reason they're coming hard in this way or soft in another. And I think that the more we gain insight, the more we'll be able to, hey, let that person rest on their laurels. I was talking about Cleveland played Football Reference, as I always go back to. Cleveland played, and Myles Garrett last year, the guy took off his helmet and bopped another guy with the helmet. I don't care his motivation, but he said that was a different guy. And another guy in Cleveland is the guy who got caught in the infamous knocking his girlfriend out on the hotel cam. Everybody saw it. Okay,
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt. Yeah, Kareem Hunt.
That was
in the
crazy.
He's so, and both of them are completely wrong, but are we going to, like, what's the expiry date on that? Are we going to consider themselves there? I do not condone
If it's
either
on
of their
camera,
events.
never.
Yeah, 100%. It's on camera, it's on the deal. But how do they move forward? Like you said, Nate, what are they doing? And they're talking about Kareem Hunt is working in the community. He's trying to give back. It doesn't take away from what he did. But have you changed? Are you working to go positive or just lip service, man? You know, so
The
I
problem
try
with
to consider that.
a lot of these guys are, they do that stuff, but there's a few relapses.
Oh, yeah.
And that just, 3 strikes, you're out kind of. I mean, you can only do it so many times, guys. You can keep working hard, but if you can't get your shit together, it just doesn't make up for it.
Dude, that's a failure. Again, how far back do you put the blame? Is it the fault of the person? Is it the fault of their upbringing? Is it the fault of their grandparents who brought up their parents wrong, who
And that
made a mistake with them? Was it a
Brings
teacher
me
that
back
yelled
to
at them?
consider the source. Are we looking at? But I think
On
it's
some
one of
level, you
those
have to
ones.
be understanding of everyone's
Understanding,
behavior.
true, but I still believe there's got to be a cutoff point, like you just said.
And there's got to be responsibility. We all have the opportunity to make our own choices.
There you go.
Yes, they're influenced, but you can also make your own choices, and you got to be responsible for your actions.
But
By the way, Coke is not a choice; it's a lifestyle.
I got one or two more here before we cut her down.
All right.
Any plans for the winter vacation?
I got 2 plans. I want to learn how to play the guitar.
Cool.
I kid you not. I found the guitar I bought 5 years ago, and I think, Brian, we'll get a band together. You got the uke. He's got the uke. And I keep hearing jokes about it, but no, I'm going to ask Al to teach me a few things on the guitar. And I want to do, you get the uke, we'll get a band going. Second thing is, I really want to focus in on next project. And it's either, writing that book, because I got a lot of stories up in here, and putting one down to paper, committing and following that up, or doing some sort of channel. I thought about a channel where I just yell at people, YouTube, but I think that's been done to death, and I wanted to be positive.
What about eloquent
readings from Niagara Falls?
No, eloquent driving.
And there you go.
Two Niagara Falls men.
No.
Driving a car.
I'm driving a car, and we just...
it's a game show. The first one to flip out loses.
Oh, jeez.
And each
actually, no, we should have a
only
timer.
2 minutes long.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, it's a perfect 2 minutes. We put it on but different cars. Different cars in different areas, and we go to different cities and see and then we got to flip out in that language. That would be a... Dios mío! Por qué miseria, qué cazzone! Fangula de mamada. Yeah, I think I'd have to be in Rome for that one, but, then I could do one in, different ones. I don't know, right now for the vacation, obviously, it's a vacation of what? Just stay at home, do a lot of walking, do the deal.
April will probably be the peak here, and that the vaccine won't be released here until April.
Well, I heard, early spring. That's what I heard also. So, again, I'm not traveling. Hopefully I can travel. I really want to travel by summer.
Yeah.
So I want to focus on 1 or 2 projects. One, just farting around on the guitar. All right. Learn a few things on the guitar. Write some really dumb songs. All right. And have fun with it. But the second thing, whatever project it be,
STD. Yeah,
I don't know. Like I said, I want to do stuff for school, and I'd like to do an IELTS program and set that up and do this and all that. But I just really students.
But is the motivation there for that?
That's the thing is, motivation for my students is always there. But I just don't want to give it up to a school that has not a clue, right? They don't have an A plan, a B plan, or a C plan, and they don't appreciate what you're doing. You can do whatever but when nobody has an idea of what you actually do, you're doing a good job, we don't bother them. Again, they don't poke the bear, but the bear gets no feedback too, you know what I mean? So he doesn't know if he's enjoying honey or eating his own shit, you know what I mean? In certain ways, right? I'm not progressing. I'm not getting anything where, wow, I learned that. The most things I learned is when I talk to you two. Hey, have you used that program? What's this program? That keeps me young, keeps me going. And I've learned a shit ton of new programs, how to do it and how
That's the only reason I can... that's what keeps teaching fun and exciting, man.
Guaranteed.
It's always interesting.
So...
If you're teaching the same...
Every semester there's something new.
Yeah.
Chapter 2,
very much,
green book.
And there you go.
This is a pencil.
There you go. Yeah, I'd go the interactive nature, for example, it was seriously showing, I can't think of the analogy that would fit here, but when I showed Al in a camp, all right, showed him Kahoot. He thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread, as they say.
I've been doing it at that school for 4 years.
There you go. You've already been doing it. When I showed him this Kahoot, and I made my own K-pop Kahoot with different answers and how I could fill. But then now you can put in videos, and I inserted, 20-second videos and all that. And he's like, how do you know? Hee-jung always asks me, how do you know so much about this? The students are interested. That makes me interested. I want to know, I want to learn, I want to upgrade, all right? And then I can throw in a 30-minute game, and I think it was best highlighted by I teach a class on the spectrum. 7 kids on the, what's the word we're looking for? Autism spectrum, okay? So I got a special class this year. Nate might have to teach them next year. They were
that's my whole thing this week on...
They were a joy, Brian, they were a joy and honor. I love them all. Yeah. But we played the Kahoot with them, and I did this game, and I had these guys jumping up, high-fiving them. You know, Lyra, the girl, gave me that gift there. And Shin, guy from Myanmar, great kid. We call him Mushmouth, but he's a great young man. Anyway, we're doing that. We put the Kahoot game on for.
He's not part of the class.
Right? No, he's one of the helpers.
Okay. Yeah.
Shin and Lyra are part of the helpers, all right?
You should probably clarify
We call
that
them,
for people
yeah,
listening.
excuse me. I wasn't calling it in that way. Again, Mushmouth is because Shin never opens his mouth to speak. He's a very, very intelligent young man. He's a helper. Lyra's a helper. They're both teams working. So one of the guys, when he got an answer, he jumped up and danced. And the sheer joy of using that technological
tool
to enhance their experience. It was all in English. It wasn't in Korean. They were looking at that. It was visual. It was auditory. Visual auditory. And it was simply entertaining for them. And they all got into it. And I'm like, when I can take that program and show them something, and then they're like, one more, teacher, one more. And one young man who barely ever speaks, he came up and said, thank you. Like I said, small gratification. It'll keep me going. That's what my wife said. That's why we're still married.
Okay.
Small gratification.
Last one. 57, keeping going, stamina, slowing down, not slowing down. You want to live to 100. What's the dream retirement? Has anything changed since the epiphany of getting back in shape? And do you have any foresight into what that might entail?
What originally, and a few years ago, what I really was thinking about focusing on was opening up a small hotel with a hell of an interactive kitchen where you guys could come visit with your families, you know what I mean? And we're doing Mexican food on one night, not worrying about the hotel, but getting people to come experience. Enjoy teaching, enjoy being on a beach. But then COVID hit. Travel, as we know it, is going to be, it's forever changed, all right? So where do I go from there? So I think that another thing, these educational programs, okay? I watch so many of these YouTubers and these videos get on there, and they treat people, not just students, but people, like they're absolute morons, or on the other side, like they're complete geniuses trying to learn a language. All right? Like, make the language teaching, slow it down, and make it real. So many of these programs are not real. We need more realism. So, for retirement, I don't want to retire. I would love to live in a place where I'm happy in my thing, but I also want to be interacting with my friends. I want to be contributing. I want to create. I want to, do more, so to speak. And that would be a goal in my retirement. Where this may be, I do like Korea, but guys, I gotta have a garden. I told my wife, like, no matter where we are, we've got land in Korea. Yeah, but I prefer, like you said, as you're getting older, the spring and fall Korea, if I possibly could. Summer and winter somewhere else. Summer it's too hot here. Winter it's too cold. All right, even for that. So if I'm looking at retirement wise, I see it a working retirement.
I don't. Yeah, I think maybe the point I was trying to make earlier is that I'm not working my whole life to live that dream of it. Just gonna pack it in where I'm 60 or 65. I think it should be, and that's what does keep you a young man. Yeah, it's the active pursuit of learning and experiencing and interacting.
Yeah, going forward, I don't think I'll ever be done. I'm also not in a position to retire well. I don't have a huge pension. I don't have this. I don't have that. Hopefully they'll raise up my building and give me a lot of money for it. But as Mark and I always discuss, the hell you sell one, you got to live somewhere. Where am I going to live? There's only so many dollar houses in Italy I can move to. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But is that where, listen, last night I got on again, I don't know why I turned on Facebook, but the out east Canada, those houses pop up. Yeah. Dude, right down the street from Mazarol's place. Right. A 10-minute drive from his house. A waterfront property, 5 bedrooms, 180 grand. 180 G's.
Yeah, in Mississippi, you get 5. I always watch one of my favorite programs. No, I love home renovation programs.
Oh, dude, I watch those. And
the one is Hometown.
Okay.
And the guy's an amazing woodworker. And he's like, yeah, you can get that home for $130,000. We'll put $70,000. It's an absolute architectural, gorgeous piece in there. But again, you gonna live there? Am I gonna bring my Korean wife to the middle of rural Mississippi? All right. She can't get the kimchi. You know, she can be lazy.
I think when I think of those ones out east, I think of retirement home, and I think of 6 months a year.
Yeah.
You're there for 6 months of the summer. Like,
because
spring into
winter.
the fall.
I'm not going to Canada for the winter.
And then the winter.
What's that?
You could rent it for.
Well, again,
But
if
for that much.
rental, yeah, are you going to cover your deals? Because I'm also one of those. I look at them all the time, even though just constantly that Rita. It's email thing comes, retirement investment services, retire overseas. And some of the deals that come, for example, in gorgeous plates in Cali, boom, 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 boom. There's so many places that want expats like us who can still teach. And I saw one, gentleman.
Dude, you can work online.
There you go. Well, you can work online, but there... You're living there. The internet's getting better all over the world. It's no longer where you're out.
Lots of these countries now have these places where they'll give you tax breaks.
Exactly.
They'll give you access to the best hospital.
Was it.
Because it's easy. Listen, it's cheap to live here. You can live in a palace for a tenth of the cost. We'll give you a tax break. This is this.
You want to buy because that's how they do it. And the tax break comes with your investment in there.
Lots of
Central America. But for $100,000. Central America, for $100,000, where in the hell can you have a swimming pool, a beautiful life, a great expat community? So many of them. I watch them all the time. So, again, where will it be? But, Brian, you made the great point. The internet. We're not far away from it. But my dream wish, my biggest wish is to have a place that's not far from as many people as I can to come.
It's important.
Yeah, I want you to come with the kids, all right? I want the girls to come. I'm not so sure, all right? But you know what I mean? I want you guys. I want Marky and them. And think about this, guys. I got to make enough money to make sure Mark retires because he'll be eating cat food in a freaking year, you know? Like, I mean, I gotta figure a way to take care of my boy Marky because I need a partner.
Look at Tony Rowell there. Like, he's moved here. I think he was saying when he's on the podcast
Tony's awesome.
Dude, he loves his life.
Yeah. There you go.
He golfs 4 times a week.
Right. He's doing.
What's wrong with that? Got a nice humble apartment.
And he was asking me about teaching. I was like, Tony, you don't want to do that. You're having a good life here. You want to get back. He says, I just want to stay busy with
But teaching. I say you get one of those places that can be a dream home.
Yeah.
In a developing country.
Right.
But in a developed neighborhood.
You were going to say third world, eh?
Yeah,
Trump.
But I don't know.
I don't call it a shithole.
But I don't know how many third world countries there are now. They've come up a lot.
Nate's going to show up with a roll of
and then you have the money to go and travel still.
Sure. That's the other thing.
If you're retired at home and you're paying the tax and everything at home.
No, thank you.
You don't have the money to travel all that much.
But you just made a good point. At home. Here's home for me.
Yeah.
Right now, like I've been here going on 25 years. My wife's here. You know, I love my family, but my family's spread out all over the world.
Same
and at the end of the day, too, like, you know, looking at, but the last thing we'll come back to right here is COVID. All right. What we just said, moving there, who's going to get the vaccine? Who's going to want to go there? If people in that country aren't vaccinated, you got the vaccine, you move in, you can't get it, but these people are still like, you know what I mean? It readjusts, and therefore, the post-COVID world, anybody who has a real clue, they don't. Nobody does. You know, the top experts have no clue. All right, so I think we wait on it.
And the next one could be next year. I mean,
there you go.
It might never end.
100% coming in.
They said the UK
drink more soju.
The UK just had a new strain.
I just saw that yesterday. Yeah. All right, well, boys, are we going to wrap her up? Yes, sir.
Since you want to start the guitar, I'm gonna play a little ditty on my.
Okay, all right. Brian's gonna play us off on the ukulele.
That's called the ukulele.
That's what it is. The ukulele, the uke.
December winter slumber. I hope.
Oh, just a strum, man. Nice strum.
I hope I can travel in summer.
Jesus.
If I can't, it'll be a bummer.
No.
It's been 6
Slumber
months
doesn't rhyme.
since my wife has give me a kiss.
Oh, man. Wasn't that one? No. Lulu, da 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 da. What was that one? Remember that one? Lulu broke her. She fell on something and broke her little. Ask me no more questions. Tell me no more lies. That was similar one. Since my wife has given me. Do you know the Hummer is a good car? I think we could segue them in that one. That'd be great.
Wonderful.
All right, gentlemen. It was great to see you.
Jeffrey.
By the way, I highly recommend coming to this podcast just for Brian making lunch. Guys got skills. Skills, man. Skills.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys.
Ciao.